But joining us now is Harford Community College baseball coach Josh Hauser, who just put together a 55-8 season. Harford Community goes to the JUCO World Series for the third time in program history, and the first time with Josh as the head coach. Josh, congratulations. Thank you for joining the show.
Yep. Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
So for you coming into this year, what were your expectations? Did you have World Series expectations? How did it all come together?
Yeah, I mean, I think every year, that's kind of the pinnacle of what we're looking to do is win a national championship. Obviously, like on the coaching end of things, some years come together better than others. And, we did have a group of, pretty sophomore heavy this year. So leaned on some guys that played a big role for us as freshmen the year prior. And, felt like we had the people in the room to do it. But, getting through a full baseball season, not only healthy, but playing, good baseball at the right time and different things like that, it sometimes doesn't come together like that. But I think we knew we had the right group going in and, everything just kind of played in our favor. And it was an awesome year, though.
So, Josh, the first time we talked this year was actually at Harford Media Day, and there was snow on the ground, and we were in the middle of a miserable winter. So how do you get your team prepared to play in that and get to a point where you go 55-8?
Yeah, I mean, I think for us, like we have the good fortune of we have a really great indoor facility that we have access to train at up here, and I think obviously being in the Northeast and what the winter can throw you at different times, I think having that makes it 10 times easier to get through your winters and obviously prepare for the spring. I never think we're truly. You can look at the team we are in February and the team we are in the beginning of May, and it's like two completely different teams most years. So the product that we put on the field and just the quality of, our reps and what we do in game is definitely progresses as the year goes. We're definitely not as refined as we need to be in early season, but I think for us too, it kind of allows us to kind of figure out what we're good at, what we're bad at, and things that we need to kind of continue to work at day to day throughout the year. So it worked out really well for us this year. And honestly, us having a great facility here and having turf and everything allowed us to get through what was a pretty gruesome winter up here in general. And we played a ton of games still. And I think it allowed us to not get super backed up, and you can obviously keep guys off their feet a little better and hopefully keep your entire group healthy as you go into, the later half of the year. So, probably worked out a little better for us than it did for other teams, but I think we have a good setup here for our guys, obviously being in the winter months and stuff.
So, Josh, the thing that stuck out to me the most when I was looking at your team's numbers is that you had a lot of guys who had monster offensive seasons. Is that a product of, like you said, having a sophomore-heavy team, or is some of that like the JUCO offensive environment? Talk me through that a little bit.
I think it's a little bit of both. I think offense in general at the collegiate level, not just the junior college level, has been up for a couple of years now, especially. But I think in general, like definitely having some sophomores and having some experience in the room definitely helps. We had a number of those same guys that had really good years this year. They played a really key part of what their 25 season was like and when they were freshmen. So a lot of them had kind of been through the ringer a little bit. We went really deep in playoffs last year, and we came up just short in a super regional. And a lot of those guys were on the field in that. A lot of those guys played a lot of high leverage playoff baseball, and I think the experience certainly helped. But I think the players that we added to the room besides those guys were also great people too. A lot of good players in there, a lot of guys that played, a key factor in what our year was. But I think the room just came together really well, and it was a really unique blend of a lot of different guys that could have success in different ways. And I think we were, as an offense as a whole, I think we were able to kind of maximize that, which is really cool to see.
That was kind of what I wanted to ask a little bit about too, about Coach Hauser here, is kind of what does the roster construction look like? Like what is that kind of landscape of JUCO ball? Is it guys that are because I imagine there's a good bit of turnover with guys trying to kind of get back to a higher level, as well as guys maybe taking a step back at times, and maybe guys that just want to play ball. What does the roster kind of look like year to year?
Yeah, I mean it's definitely matured. Like obviously, just in college baseball right now, it's like the transfer portal and everything. It gets somewhat chaotic. So our roster now is definitely more of a balance of, we still kind of I think our roots still belong with like getting kids out of high school that maybe were underlooked or under recruited in today's day and age. The profile of high school player that we can target and maybe get here is a lot more advanced than it used to be, just because of how college baseball has kind of turned what it's turned into. But we definitely have some bounce backs from 4 year schools that come here, kind of try to reset, kind of rebuild their resume in some sort of way, and then be able to obviously go back to that level. So every year, like it's definitely a new group. We're definitely rotating a lot of faces. I mean, we just actually, off of this World Series team, we just graduated like 24, 25 guys. So the turnover going into this, this fall when we get back to campus here in a little over a month is going to be pretty substantial. And it's trying to find the right players, obviously, but the right people to kind of put into, what our group is every year. And you just hope you do it, you hope you do a good job with it. But I think the sophomores every year here do such an excellent job of kind of laying the foundation and creating an environment that's really welcoming. So I feel like year to year, the cultural and the atmosphere that's provided here for guys is, that's something that we as coaches generally don't have to worry about, because I feel like everything is in place and our guys do an awesome job of just bringing the new guys along. So it's interesting at the JUCO level, but this is probably how a lot of high level JUCOs do it, and that's kind of how you have to do it in today's day and age to have success.
Do you have any friends at 4 year schools that reach out to you asking for advice about the heavy roster turnover era? Because, like, for example, at Maryland, they had like something like 23 guys transferred. Do you have anybody reaching out to you for advice about how to handle this?
I don't think necessarily. I think a lot, just especially some of the other coaching staffs. Like I feel like there's a lot of people on their staff that have been at the JUCO
Mm.
level or have been in this setting before too. So, some of them, especially the 4 year level now, it is like an immense amount of turnover. But I think like they probably look at it in a similar lens to where, you're still leaning on your guys coming back. You're still, if you have a good culture year to year and you have a good situation for guys to walk into year to year and they have an awesome experience, no matter who you bring in or how much turnover there is, regardless, typically like you're still going to be able to lean on some of those guys that are coming back. And I think some of the best programs in the country, I think there's not a ton of turnover, to be
Mm.
honest. Like, and yeah, like in today's day and age, there's always going to be turnover because, kids are always going to look to do a little better, or you're going to look to improve your roster in different ways. But I think the best programs in the country are places that kids want to play at, or places that, kind of get the best out of them. And I think they're environments that are like infectious, and you kind of get in them and you don't want to leave them.
You mentioned a moment ago that the offensive environment in college baseball, throughout college baseball, is up. Why do you think that is?
I mean, I think just in general, like the athletes are way better. I
Mm.
mean, but like it's on the pitching side too. I think you could run into a different blend of everything as far as what you see in a game, in college baseball. If you watch high level Division I baseball, like you're still going to see high level arms throwing every weekend, and you're going to find your low scoring affairs. But just in general, I think some of the emphasis over the past couple of years on just raw stuff and velo and stuff like that, I think it's been really good because I think it's matured people on the mound a little bit. But I think what's come with that is sometimes you lose, an ability to work through games and ability to throw multiple pitches for strikes. And I feel like in today's environment, with strike zones tightening, we have a lot of data and tech now that can kind of analyze strike zones. So like umpire zones are shrinking, hitters are adapting to that really well. Base running in today's day and age is far more advanced. So like I feel like offenses are kind of building themselves similar to honestly how I feel like we ran our offense this year. And like I want to be able to attack people and teams in different ways. Like yeah, we're going to find games where we can score 15 runs, but in games that we're winning 4-2, like what are we doing that's giving us a competitive advantage on the offensive side that the other team can't, either defend or the other team can't do themselves offensively. So I just think it's a really unique blend, but offense is definitely up. I feel like there's just a higher quality of hitters. The strike zone is definitely shrinking to the hitter's advantage. And there's just multiple ways to attack teams, put them on their heels now, and I feel like you see that a lot in today's game.
I mean, you mentioned the environment as a whole, obviously, and the offense we're seeing across college baseball at all levels. But tell me about what the offensive philosophy is like for you guys and your team. I mean, looking at these numbers, it's insane. I mean, you have a team OPS of 1,200. Like that's these are video game. These aren't even video game numbers. You can't even achieve this in a video game. I feel like. So what is it about the approach? Is it in the approach from your guys at bat? Is it something you guys are teaching in the classroom and during practice and in the cage? What is it that makes what made this season so special?
Yeah, I think this season, even more than recent years, obviously, like we have a ton of really talented players this year, and that above all is definitely very important. But I feel like from like an approach standpoint this year, just like not even an approach standpoint, just how we went about our days, like it was very challenging at times. Like practice settings, like if you came and watched us hit in practice, you wouldn't see what you feel like the production matches in game. But the settings being challenging, I felt like kind of made the game a little bit easier for guys. And like whether that be like a high velocity machine or like unpredictable, or you're seeing a fastball one pitch, a curveball the next pitch, and it's like facing a real pitcher in that sense. We would do like high spin work where we're facing fastballs and dudes were hitting like foam balls over 100 miles an hour, like coming at them. So like it's not necessarily easy. It's a grind, but I think the way we went through practice this year, I felt like at least in game for a lot of our guys, like things slowed down a little bit easier for them. I think the challenging settings and pushing them in practice on the hitting side allowed the game to come a little easier. But just in general, like I think it was a fun offense to work with because we had a lot of guys with a lot of different skill sets. I mean, we had a couple players steal at or near 30 bases. I think we grabbed about 200 bases as a team, so we were ultra aggressive on the bases. But I felt like, when we had to move a runner, we had to get a runner, to third base with less than 2 outs. We had to just play a little more sound, fundamental offense to be able to squeak some runs across. I feel like we were still able to do that. So to me, it was a perfect balance of what good offensive baseball should look like. And like I said earlier, it allowed us to win games in different ways. When we faced a high-level arm and we had to squeak some runs across, it allowed us to do that. But I think just to practice every day and how we went about each day, challenging guys and putting them in uncomfortable situations, while it may have been frustrating at times, and it certainly, guys go through ebbs and flows in practice where they're not having a ton of success or they are having success. I think through and through that just builds them to be more primed for the game and allows everything in the game situation just to come way easier for them.
So, for those who don't know, Harford has a lot of really successful athletic programs, and if you go to that campus, there are a lot of really good facilities. So, let me ask you, Josh, why does it work at Harford, not just for you guys, but for a lot of programs on that campus?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's consistent, like how every program would feel here. One, like I think the facilities are awesome. I think we've built a competitive advantage, especially in this region, and especially at the junior college level in this region, to where I feel like we have some of the best facilities up and down the East Coast, whether that be us basketball, our arena, our lacrosse, like I feel like every sports team here has that advantage, and I think we've definitely reaped the benefit over time. But to me, like to me from a baseball, and it's more tradition too. I had the good fortune of playing here, over 10 years ago now, and my experience here was awesome as a player. And as a coach now, like I feel like you're trying to carry that tradition on. Maybe not in the same way, like you're not gonna. I don't run things necessarily the same as people before me did or people after me may, but I think that's what's unique about it is you want to carry on the tradition, but everybody knows about us now, and I think that's awesome. Like I especially junior college, like being a junior college baseball from my end, like that's exciting. Like I love people to talk about junior college baseball. I think that's awesome. I think it's an area that our level, even across the board in every sport, it's not talked about enough. And any publicity to me regarding us or regarding our programs here at Harvard is good publicity. So I think it starts with our facilities, our resources. To me, we have one of the nicest junior college campuses in the country. We have an awesome campus. It's a unique location too. So I think there's a lot of things that draw people here, but when you have success as a program, as a department and stuff, and you have that over time, like you become more popular, but you become an option that people want to go to, not just maybe can see themselves at. And I think year by year, it continues to evolve, which is exciting for us.
Last one I got for you, Coach. Are we going to see any of these guys? Have any of them moved up and are at a bigger program now that you know of right now?
Some of our guys from this past year.
Yes.
Yeah, so we have, I mean, kind of all over, to be honest. We have a pitcher going to BYU, Maryland, Millersville, Wichita State, North Alabama, LaSalle, UMass, Western Kentucky. I mean, it's a large group. Georgia Gwinnett, St. Thomas down in Florida. We're hopefully about to commit a couple more. We have a couple more uncommitted here in the next couple of days, but it's pretty widespread, I would say. That's how recruiting's been for us the past couple of years, but I'm excited. Like I think the best measure of our program is obviously being able to send guys and get them to a high level after here, but I love watching them have success at their next places too. To me, that's the most reassuring, aspect of things. So I think a lot of these guys are primed and ready to be able to get after it at their next schools.
So who can Terps fans look forward to seeing?
We're sending Ben Christine there this next year. He was a pitcher for us this year.
Cool. Well, Coach, thank you for joining us. Again, congratulations on what a terrific year you had, and best of luck next year as well. And I'll see you at Media Day before the season next year too.
Sounds good. I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me.
All right, you bet.